Hello and welcome to the University of Arizona Global Campus's TLC, our Teaching and Learning Conference. I am Rachel Orlansky. I'm the VP of Student Affairs here at UAGC, and I will be hosting the individual presentation sessions that are a part of the Holistic Student Support track. This first presentation by Evan Gray is our Associate Director of Student Success here at UAGC. Evan brings over a decade of experience in higher education to us today. In 2012, he spearheaded the effort to create our CHAMPS peer mentoring program here and is going to tell us all about that today. Please note that by joining us today, you know the session is being recorded and will be shared with our TLC related materials. Your microphones will be muted, but feel free to put any questions in the chat. And we have enabled live transcription. So if you would like to use that, just click live transcript at the bottom of your Zoom window. And we will save questions for the end. And with that, I kick it over to you, Evan, to tell us all about CHAMPS.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel. And thanks to everybody for being here today. I know it's middle of the week and folks are busy, or for those that may be watching this recording down the line, thank you for taking some time to tune in. Today, the title of my presentation is CHAMPS Mentoring, Holistic Student Support. You'll see the theme that we have here with this panel is how the different ways that UAGC in a holistic manner supports students. So today I'll be talking obviously about CHAMPS, but we'll also talk a little bit about student affairs, but also trying to talk about our students and understand that what makes up our students, the systems that they bring to us and how we try to meet that need as they're entering into our university and beyond. All right, so with every presentation, I think this is I don't know how many years TLC has been going, but whatever it is, this is year 8 or 10 or 12, whatever it is, that I've had the opportunity to present at TLC and talk about mentoring. And I've started off every single one of our presentations just to get our minds right and understand what we're here to talk about is have everyone think about who was your college mentor. Maybe that's 2 or 3 different people that if you think back to either an undergrad degree, a grad degree, perhaps an advanced degree, if you're a faculty member, chances are that you can boil it down to those 2, 3, or 4 different people, or that one cohort of people that you got to know that you can think without them, I would not have had that opportunity to finish, or without them, when those challenges came, I would have quit. Now, I know I had several, fortunate enough to have several, and won't go into detail today, but just consider that, and also consider our students that come to UAGC. Specifically here in CHAMPS, one of our main focuses in supporting students are our first-time college students that are entering into the university. Within just our first-time college student group, over half of them are also first-generation students. And so for many of us that were fortunate enough to enter into the university or had siblings or parents or others that had gone through that college experience before, we already had some built-in mentors, some people that could help walk through financial aid or admissions, or if you went on campus, would walk you down to your dorm or help you move in, or all those types of things. For a lot of our students, that's not the case. And so I think that helps all of us have a good frame of mind of understanding on what our role is, and really in CHAMPS, what our intended goal is to be that person to allow our students to find that support as they're navigating school with us. So CHAMPS, if you haven't not heard of CHAMPS, CHAMPS is an acronym, which we love. That was one of the first things we inherited. And we're like, no, we need to keep that. It's a great acronym. But CHAMPS stands for Collaborative Holistic Academic Mentoring for Peer Success. And today we're gonna focus on the holistic part. When you think about holistic, as I was preparing for this presentation, you want to try to get to the root word. Well, what does that really mean? Like any good, person in higher education, you have to do some research and really try to understand it. And I thought this was the best way to kind of help summarize that. But holistic comes from the root word holism, that says, in order to understand why people do the things they do and think the way they think, holism proposes that it is necessary to look at the entire person rather than focus on just one aspect of the problem, or in this case, the student. Students are not the problem, but in looking at that, whether it's a problem or a situation, it's necessary to recognize that various factors interact and influence with each other. I love this because when you think about our students and you think about society today, and really all of us, there's not just one thing that you point to or one thing that you think of. We are a mix of a variety of systems, of experiences going all the way back to being, children through grammar school, junior high, high school, and for some college experience. But for us, we know a lot of our students don't have that college experience that many of us have throughout our years, but they also have life experience perhaps that we don't have. So in so many ways that we are here to teach and learn from one another, there are so many things that our students can help us learn about ourselves. And that's one of the great benefits of mentoring, is it becomes a two-way street and this a mutual understanding. So getting down to the holistic part to it, this was, I thought, short and simple and good. And that is the definition of holistic, is relating to or concerned with complete systems rather than with individual parts. And the systems are what I would like to talk about here for my chat today. So when you think about CHAMPS, well, where do we fit into the systems within our student affairs department at UAGC? We know our students come to us from all walks of life, from different regions, different areas, different experiences, and with that, different challenges or different needs, social needs, academic needs. And so that's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on within the student affairs department, is having the opportunity to develop students in whatever need that may be. Whatever the challenge may come and the challenge may change, we have that opportunity to work and interact with students. So obviously in CHAMPS, we provide mentoring for students, but Student Affairs also provides areas of opportunity for networking and growth with different clubs, professional organizations, honor societies. We have our Office of Student Access and Wellness that support students that need specific resources, along with disability support services. We have our Student Care and Advocate Helpline. That has been a huge, huge part of the student experience for a lot of our students through COVID, through the different challenges, wildfires, hurricanes, you name it, we're all aware what an important group that group has always been, but especially over the last couple of years. Student rights and responsibilities as they're learning to develop their own academic integrity and processes there has been important. Of course, our Office of Student Dispute Resolution, Title IX, Gender Equity, and Career and Alumni Services, which just put on their second, I believe, virtual career fair just a few weeks ago. That was an amazing thing, and what an awesome way to meet students where they're at if they're in that career fair or looking to jump. So that's Student Affairs as a system and ways we try to meet students where they're at. So I want to flip gears a little bit. So that's us as a system. Those are the different things that we do. Now I think it's also important to consider our students. And if we consider our students in the same light as a system, trust me, there is not a big enough PowerPoint slide in the world to put all the tiles to explain who we are as people. But these are just some of the ones that I think are the most important ones that we really have to consider, that our students, we are not 15 or 16 that says, well, I generally go to school, may or may not have a boyfriend or girlfriend, dating somebody, have a part-time job, like I'm learning to drive. And as we grow and get older, our systems get more complex. So our students come to us with a very complex background. That's varying school levels, different experiences in school, different teachers that were instructing them and the way that made them feel when they would go to school. Different work and life experiences. We've had folks in CHAMPS literally from all over the world when we consider our military population. I remember the first time we were set to pair our first student from Guam. And I remember speaking with her going, how cool is this that we're going to be able to connect you with somebody back to the university when you're on this tiny island out in the Pacific. But you realize the start of reach and work and life experiences that people have, given their structure of their family and so forth. Family responsibility and structure becomes important. We know in CHAMPS, we are predominantly female, close to 75% female within the CHAMPS population, especially our first-time college student population. But that doesn't always mean that they have dependents. There's kind of the stereotype out there, and I'll be the first one to admit that that's where my head goes is, moms take care of the kids and that sort of thing. But that's not always the truth. Less than half of our first-time college students that enter into the university have dependents, right? And their age is not what we may think it is sometimes. The average age of first-time college students entering into our university is 28 years old. And so it's really important to understand that our students come to us with a varying level of responsibility, different levels of structure, and different experiences that they bring in. Of course, prior educational experience, different socioeconomic experiences and challenges that they may face in one area compared to students in another. Some students are extremely introverted and some are extroverted, just like our staff here. I'm an extrovert. I gain energy from presentations and talking with people. And I know we have people on my staff where it's like, I got to prepare for a meeting with champs because there's gonna be a lot of talking, a lot of stuff. And then after that, I need like 10 minutes just to sit and kind of recalibrate and do it. So our students are the same. They come in with varying levels of communication needs, different learning styles. Some are visual, some want to hear communication, some want to connect with others just through discussion boards. So there's just a lot of things to consider. We consider our students as systems. So how do we monitor and measure what, how successful we are in our program? Understanding that we have systems in place, we have different ways of connecting students, but ultimately, regardless of who our students are, what we know is through the CHAMPS program, if a mentee can work with a mentor and gain some traction and gain some experience and knowledge in these main areas, then our students have a much more likely chance of being a successful student in the long haul. Not successful for 2 or 3 classes or not successful for a week or two, but successful from beginning all the way to the end. And these are our support systems and what our desired outcomes are. One is that's connection to the UAGC community. So we know as online learners, we like to call it online student island is a reality, but hopefully through their experience working with us, they feel a more sense of community. They're able to establish relationships with others at the university. We also want to make sure our students have the ability to identify their own academic, personal, and social needs to be successful. Some people do not want to connect a lot with others. They want to come to school, they want to do their schoolwork, they want to write papers and learn, and that's it. Some want to make as many friends as possible. And so hopefully through CHAMPS, or if that is them, that they're able to talk about it, identify it. Maybe some people just want to join 1 or 2 clubs, or maybe they want to be affiliated with an honor society or salute if they're in the military population. Maybe it's a combination of that. So hopefully they gain a lot of good awareness and understanding of what those opportunities are. Also, we want to make sure they have a knowledge of the academic support tools available to them. Just this earlier in a CHAMPS team meeting today, it was noted that a student said, I had no idea that I could use TutorMe, or I had no idea about whatever it might be. Some of that knowledge gets lost, and through working with a mentor, somebody who has experience at UAGC, that information can be transferred along. Obviously, we want students to be confident in their personal ability to be successful. If they come in, if they don't know what it's like, if they're a first generation student or a first time college student, we want them walking away with a sense of confidence that they can do that they do belong here, and that they do belong in that group that deserves to get an education. We want them to walk away with that. And then also their ability to define avenues for support within the UAG community, specifically those student affairs outlets as things arise or things change. So one way we want to make sure that we do this and how this actually works in CHAMPS is our way that we intentionally match students. So we try to collect as much information to understand our students as possible. Now we know that is only scratching the surface. We cannot ask about life experiences. There's no way to collect all that, but we know there are some key features that become important with building quality relationships between mentors and mentees, but also intentionally matching them in ways that we feel like they'll have some commonality. So things like where they live, their time zone, their college, family dynamics, if they have kids or not, gender pronouns, their degree level, any other kind of special pairing requirements they may have, military affiliation. Those are some of the basic kind of surface level things that we try to use. But then we're also trying to be intentional with specific areas that mentees really want to try to grow and learn. Maybe that's school, work-life balance, university resources, industry experience if they're looking for more career advice, and so forth. So after students go through their program, we are constantly collecting information. We want to know how things are going. And so I pulled some of the quotes through some program closure surveys that I thought were relevant, that help share the story of if we're either being successful or unsuccessful, that help share kind of the depth and the breadth of who our students are when we consider them as a system. So I'll just kind of go through these and then I have a couple of points with each. One student said it's helpful being connected to a new university on a personal level. Before Champs, I felt like I was attending a computer college. Now I feel like I'm linked to actual real people who care about my education as much as I do. And I think that will be very important to my success. Another mentee said my mentor was amazing. She was patient and very understanding of the struggles I was having. No matter how overwhelmed and lost I felt with the situations that kept popping up in my life, she never lost contact and never made me feel like a failure. I thought the term when they said the situations that kept popping up in my life was important, because we know life happens. It happens to all of us, good and bad, and that continual support. It's not support for those 7 milestones or their time at Champs. It's support throughout their time with the university. And in often cases, it's support when Champs is long and gone, it's in the rearview mirror, and when school can be done. Those quality relationships form and they're able to stay in contact even post-college. Then also another mentee said this program has really helped to connect students, alumni, and staff. As a mentee, it has answered many questions that I did not even know to ask. I have learned so much from the activities, my mentor, and the other Zoom chats that we have. So we know you don't know what you don't know until you know it, right? That common phrase. And so for a lot of students, if going to school online is new, if going to school in general is new, or your first generation, this whole experience is new. So you don't know the right questions to ask. And that's why having a mentor and really have a system of support, regardless of what that is really critical to student success. And then finally, I found it sad to realize how alone I am personally with trying to finish school. While everyone I know is proud that I'm attending and happy for me, nobody I'm close with seems to understand the struggles of balancing of everything. I thought that was a very real comment and quote. And that sometimes as an online student, how many times have you seen on AU Connections on Facebook or other thing or other postings where they say, well, it's 10 o'clock on a Monday, I just finished my degree. There's no horns going off, there's no nothing. It's just me on my couch or my desk sitting here. And so making sure students understand that they're around thousands of other students who are doing the exact same thing is really critical to belonging, and actually just being able to celebrate the hard work or know the time and the effort that it takes to be a student with us. Final couple of quotes. I think everyone that is just starting out should be able to join Champs, the way they can have more of a support system when the world is getting turned upside down. And don't we know that happens? 1 minute things are going good, the next minute a hurricane comes, or a job loss, or a family member gets COVID, or whatever comes at us. It's good to have that support system. And then finally, sometimes we don't know exactly what we need. I hadn't needed the tutoring until after we had discussed the different ways of getting through the UAGC. So when I did need it, I knew exactly where to go. The Champs mentors and chats, all of it provides such an awesome support system that is critical to student success. I thought that was a very good quote as well. All right, I had one other thing. I'm not sure about time. Rachel, how am I doing time-wise? Good, we still have a few minutes? Okay, all right, good. So I was thinking about this actually yesterday, and I was thinking about one of the more favorite mentor-mentee relationships or coaching opportunities, some way to help sum up what it's like to really know somebody and understand them as a system. And so I want to share a quick video. This is from one of my favorite movies, Good Will Hunting. If you're not familiar with the movie, highly recommend to watch it. This is about a 4-minute clip, and then I'll wrap up at the end. And fair warning, there are a couple F-bombs in this video, so if that's something that makes you nervous, I'm looking at Rachel. We get a yes, we're okay. I'm putting you on the spot. Close your ears, or if that offends you in any way, feel free to drop out now, but I want to share this quick video.
So what's this? The Taste's Choice moment between guys. So what's this? The Taste's Choice moment between guys. This is really nice. You gotta think the swans, it's like a fetish. It's something like maybe we need to devote some time to.
Thought about what you said to me the other day about my painting.
Yeah.
Stayed up half the night thinking about it. Something occurred to me. Fell into a deep, peaceful sleep, and haven't thought about you since. You know what occurred to me? You're just a kid. You don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about.
Why, thank you.
It's all right. You've never been out of Boston.
Nope.
If I asked you about art, you'd probably give me the skinny on every art book ever written. Michelangelo. Know a lot about him. Life's work, political aspirations, him and the Pope, sexual orientation, the whole works, right? But you can't tell me what it smells like in the Sistine Chapel. You never actually stood there and looked up at that beautiful ceiling.
Seen that.
If I ask you about women, probably give me a silver, say your personal favorites. You may have even been laid a few times. But you can't tell me what it feels like to wake up next to a woman and feel truly happy. You're a tough kid. I ask you about war, you probably throw Shakespeare at me, right? Once more into the breach, dear friends. You've never been near one. You've never held your best friend's head in your lap. Watch him gasp his last breath, looking to you for help. I ask you about love. Maybe quote me a sonnet. You never looked at a woman and been totally vulnerable. Known someone that could level you with her eyes. Feeling like God put an angel on earth just for you. Could rescue you from the depths of hell. And you wouldn't know what it's like to be her angel. To have that love for her, be there forever. Through anything. Through cancer. You would know about sleeping sitting up in a hospital room for 2 months, holding her hand, because the doctors could see in your eyes that the terms visiting hours don't apply to you. You don't know about real loss, because it only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself. I doubt you've ever dared to love anybody that much. I look at you, I don't see an intelligent, confident man. I see a cocky, scared, shitless kid. But you're a genius, Will. No one denies that. No one could possibly understand the depths of you. But you presume to know everything about me because you saw a painting of mine. You ripped my fucking life apart. You're an orphan, right? You think I know the first thing about how hard your life has been, how you feel, who you are, because I read Oliver Twist? Does that encapsulate you? Personally, I don't give a shit about all that because you know what? I can't learn anything from you. I can't read in some fucking book.
All right, I'll pause there again. I apologize for the language, but I thought that interaction and that conversation really helps paint the picture of, we as administrators, as faculty, as mentors have our own experiences and our students have their own experiences. And we cannot understand who our students are by looking at sets of data or by what we read in research articles. We have to know our students by spending time with them, asking questions, understanding their life experiences, and in turn, get those opportunities to learn from one another. And in turn, our students have to be willing to share that information, but we have to give them the time and the space to support them. So in Champs, that's ultimately what our goal is. We try to give the time and space for our mentors, for our staff, to interact with our new students, to help understand how we can help them and how we can support them. And that's done through spending time and being able to build really good relationships. So with that, I'll close. I don't know if we have a minute or two for questions. If not, I'll be back around for Q&A later and can feel free to ask away.
Thank you so much, Evan. And folks, feel free to drop questions in the chat related to Champs, and we will get to some. We have a few minutes. Also just wanted to plug, I do believe that CHAMPS is one of the places across the institution where we really are providing incredibly holistic support. And if you stick around or rejoin us at noon Pacific, we'll be having a panel conversation with the folks presenting on this topic around how we are holistically supporting our students and really what we can be doing better around that. So any questions about CHAMPS, again, please pop them in the chat right now. I thank you so much for joining us today and learning from our CHAMPS creator. I'm going to give it a second to see if there's any questions. In 5 minutes in this same room, we will have our own Christina Hawkes speaking about our student conduct process and how that fits into this puzzle, followed by Vanessa Pennick. And then we will all, like I said, come together with some of our pre-recorded presentations and have an amazing panel discussion at noon Pacific. So we'll stop here then, and we'll see you back afterwards. Thank you again, Evan, for giving us a little glimpse into the life of CHAMPS.
Yeah, thanks, Rachel. Thanks, everybody.